Hello and welcome back to the reading vlog. It is Monday. I had a lot of luck and my work meeting that starts normally, well, in 15 minutes, um, put through this today. So I didn't have to do that, so I can actually start the video. I filmed Thursday's video right now, so that is why I'm still sitting here, and I thought I'd just use it to start the vlog. I read more yesterday than I thought I would, and now I'm a little bit annoyed that I didn't start the reading vlog yesterday, but you know, it is what it is. But I finished my audiobook. I'm just searching it on my tablet on Goodreads because I forgot what I gave it. So yeah, I finished 9 Nasty Words, English in the Gutter, yesterday, and I gave it 4 stars. It's a really, really interesting book. There are some really interesting things to know about language. I never thought, I'm not good with languages. I have a hard time learning new languages, especially grammar is really not my strong suit. So yeah, it's a topic that I often just ignore because I feel like I'm so bad at it, so maybe just don't look at it. But the book was really, really interesting. Obviously it's just English, but it was so interesting where like swear words come from and the way how normal words can morph into swear words, and then how swear words can be reclaimed by a certain type of people. One word is bitch, for example, the other one is the N-word. That was an incredibly interesting chapter that I obviously can't, really talk about that much here, but if you've never read anything about that and you want to hear like a really, really interesting story about that word, and how there are technically actually 2 words that are more or less the same but not, really interesting. You have to listen to the audiobook. So yeah, if you want to have like better understanding of the book, just listen to it. I got it from a library, so I didn't have to pay for it. It's easy to listen to. It was like 9 hours, or no, 13 hours. But yeah, it was a really, really interesting audiobook, and I think it's great to just, know where the words are coming from that you're using. Not that I'm using them as much because obviously I'm German, but I feel like a lot of Germans use English swear words, which is kind of funny. We have ourselves some really great ones, but yeah, English ones just like, especially in like the younger people, I feel like we use those a lot. Yeah, so I finished that. And then I read a short story, and I read the last of the Far Reaches short stories. And sadly, I didn't like it as well. It's called Falling Buddies by Rebecca Rowanhorse. And it's pretty much like about 2 races. One are like a kind of aliens. They call themselves, I think, keepers. And then you have humans, and the aliens are pretty much. But they had a war with the humans, and they won. And they not really enslaved the humans, but they used them. And our main character was orphaned. I think by the war, but I'm not totally sure. And one of the really, really high-ranking keepers took him in as kind of like a peace offering and being like, we can live together, like an experiment that if you take a human to like, I don't think they're called keepers. I have to look at it. It really didn't stick well, the story, I have to say. Okay, don't say here. But yeah, so the people that took him in, they were kind of like, okay, it's an experiment to see if we can make the humans better if we take them in and pretty much like rear their children. And, we all know the problem with that because it happened on Earth quite a bit, that children were taken from their families. And yeah, I don't think we have to talk about that much. We all know how horrible that is. But obviously that is what the story is built up on. And then you would think, that there's some kind of a conclusion. And I don't want to spoil the ending for if you maybe want to read it. But the ending is like a really, really great ending. And that really, like, it really fell flat. The whole book felt like pondering a problem and then doing nothing with it, kind of. And it felt really like a little bit wasted. I don't want to be mean, but it felt really wasted because it's not like a new look at the problem, and it's a problem we have way too much or had way too much. I don't know how much that is still happening um, in like different nations, you know, but obviously it's a problem that happened quite a bit, and it's just that, but wrapped in like fantasy or sci-fi paper, and then be like, here you have a story that is a sci-fi story, but you know, it's the same old story. It's a kind of a little bit boring at that point, and then there isn't even a satisfying ending to the story. So yeah, I give it 2 stars. Sadly, yeah, I don't know. I don't think. Well, I'm still wanting to read more short stories because they really really do fit well into reading them, like every now and again, and not having to sit down and read like a lot at one sitting, you know, and but being able to finish something. So we will still continue to go through kind of limited and like pick up all of these shorter stories and reading them because there are still a lot out there. But yeah, the Far Reaches series was really really like 2 and 3 stars for me. So nothing like great in there, but that can change with the other ones. So yeah, that's the update. I don't know how much I will get to read today, but I will try. I also got the Lord of the Rings audiobook back, so I will continue with that one tonight. I am looking forward. I'm really, really in the mood to continue reading that. So yeah, I will continue with this chunker tonight. And I do still have to read Eyes of Prey, but I haven't continued with this one. I'm still a little bit angry that it's part 2, and I didn't know that, and I don't have part 1, and I feel like with part 1 this would be better. So yeah, I have to get over myself and continue with that, but I will probably do that tomorrow if I'm totally honest. So yeah, that is the beginning to the vlog. I don't really know what I will do now. I'm a little bit tired. Also, my head is on Wednesday's doctor's appointment because I have my stomach appointment on Wednesday, like the important appointment for the tests, and I'm a little bit nervous. But yeah, hopefully it will turn out all right. But yeah, it makes me nervous, and being nervous makes me not want to do anything and just sit around and wait, which, you know, not the best thing to do, but yeah, so I will see you when anything interesting happens here. Good morning. Well, it's I think midday already, but let's do check-in. Mostly because this just came, but secondly because I finished a book yesterday, and we still have to talk about that. I'm a little bit tired and worn out today. I had my doctor's appointment at the hospital. All went well. I don't have something really obviously wrong with me. There's something wrong, but nothing like really problematic, obviously. So I have to do more tests. Yay. And we're waiting for like the samples they took and stuff, but yeah, I still don't know what's wrong with me. But at least I know it's nothing like life-threatening. But yeah, that means I'm just really tired because I had to go to sleep for the thing, and you know, it makes you tired. Then I finished Eyes of Prey. All in all, I'm kind of disappointed by the book. I like the main story. I feel like you should read book 1 first. I'm annoyed that it's not obvious that this is the second part in a series. Because of the second half of the book, you really should read the first book and then the second one. I feel like that would make more sense, and you would get a better feel for like the second half of the story. But my biggest problem is the ending, which I won't spoil you because I think actually it's a nice book to read. It's just so disappointing in the end that really really annoyed me, and it's the reason why I gave 3 stars, because the ending just really bombed it for me, which is really annoying. But yeah, other than that, I really like the characters. I like the gist of the story, you know, just the workaround to end the series at that point. It's just I really really dislike it, and it really kind of ruined it a little bit for me at the end. If the last, 20-30 pages weren't there, the book would be fantastic. But the last 20-30 pages just ruined it for me. So yeah, I don't know. I finished it. That is the main important point. And I did enjoy a lot of it. Just the ending is shit. It's, I don't know. I might do a review about it, which has then spoilers in it. If you don't want to read it, then you can just watch the review video. But that will take me a little bit to get that out. But yeah, I will talk a little bit more about that because I think it's one of those topics that really needs to be talked about. Because I feel like it's kind of rooted in a little bit of like conspiracy theories, and I hate that. But after that, now let's look into our first Illumicrate of the year, which is, murder mystery is the theme. That could be really, really great. Let's see. The first thing we have is a library stamp. I actually do have a stamp pad. I just don't have a lot of nice looking stamps. Oh, that is cool. Oh, that is really cool. I don't know. Well, I think for actually the books that I'm sure I will never get rid of, I might actually do this. But it's one of these stamps, and then you have, not gonna put it out, but you have this like symbol, and then it says from the library off, and then you have a line where you can put your name. That is really cool. I have looked into getting like one of those clampy things that just makes an indent in your book with your library name. But that is obviously a really good alternative. That is really cool. Then we have... that is so great. I got a new phone, as I told you, and I had an Illumicrate phone grip on it, and I was so sad because as I took it off, the adhesive got stuck on the old phone case, so I couldn't put it back on again, and I wasn't able to remove the leftover adhesive on the grip. We got a new phone grip. The mystery of alchemy, enchantments, and supernatural entities. So that will go on my phone because I missed having my phone grip, but I couldn't decide which one to buy. So that is great. And then cute. That is an apron. I don't own an apron, but yeah, why not start using one? The only thing is, it's not cotton or anything. It feels really like plasticky, so I don't know if it's the most sensible apron, but it's cute. Then we have some new bookmarks. They look really cool. Interesting designs. So yeah, some cool looking bookmarks, which to be honest, you can never have enough bookmarks. Okay, then we have this. It says the best stories are found between the pages of a passport. So I would assume that it has something to do with traveling, but it just has some white bare pages in it. So I don't know. I personally don't own a passport. I only have my ID because in Europe you can travel with your ID. You don't need a passport, and I haven't traveled outside of the EU for a long, long time, so I don't own one, but I will probably get one in the future. So I will have to look at what this is, because I don't know. And then we have this really pretty book, Voyage of the Damned by Francis White. don't know anything about it. We can get murdered tomorrow, tonight we party. It looks really cool. And that is cool. I just don't know what it's about. Okay, so it's murder mystery set at sea. We have a kingdom pretty much, and there are 12 provinces, and we have a boat, which is this boat, and each province has pretty much sent their heir on this journey to celebrate peace, and then one of them dies, and our main character is one of the 12, and everyone has the blessing, but he doesn't. And so, yeah, he needs to find out what is happening, why are people getting murdered, to hopefully survive himself, which sounds really interesting. So, I will put it on my TBR and we'll see when I come around to it. Maybe I should just pick it up directly, but I will see. But yeah, that is the book that is in here. I think it looks really cool. So let's look at what the different things are from. So, oh, now I understand it. It's a reusable sticker book. That explains a lot. I have never heard of something like this. It makes sense. I have a lot of stickers that I could put in here for my bullet journal, so I might actually use it for that. I just did not realize that is what it is. Then we have the bookmark set from Crescent City, which I haven't read. Then we have the Cinnamon and Gingerbread Apron, which is inspired by A Wizard's Guide of Defensive Baking, which I also haven't read. And then we have the Phone Grip, which is inspired by A Master of Gin, which I also haven't read. And then we have the Eleanor West's library stamp. Oh! That's from the Wayward Children series, which I have read, and I love that series. So that is really nice. So yeah, that is the first box for 2024. I actually love everything except for the apron. I don't really know what to do with the apron. I don't like cooking. I like baking, but I feel like if the apron would have been out of cotton, it would have made sense, but this plasticky material really doesn't make much sense to me. But maybe I just don't know how aprons are supposed to function. So yeah, that is how it is. So that is our quick little check-in. I don't know which book I will pick up next. I probably won't pick up one today because I have a Skype date later with my friend and I'm just really tired. But I am nearly finished with the Lord of the Rings audiobook for like the first Lord of the Rings part, which is nice. And I got the Motherboard Series 6. So that is the next audiobook I will listen to. Probably, hopefully, we'll start with that tomorrow. We'll see. But yeah, I don't know. But I will come back to you when I pick the next book that I'm going to read. Okay, let's do a quick lunch break check-in. My hair is kind of crazy today. So I don't think I checked in with you yesterday. I think I forgot. I finished The Lord of the Rings the day before yesterday. I love that audiobook so much. I can only, love it. There's just nothing else I can say to that book. But yeah, I finished that. And then yesterday I listened to 3/4 of the 6th Murderbot book. I love that as well. It is going great. We have a little bit more of Murderbot like trying to finally integrate himself into society or being forced to try. And it is a lot of fun, and it's also a little bit of like a murder mystery episode, and it is a lot of fun to listen to. I am looking forward to finishing that today because I will definitely finish that today. I love that series so much. I'm so sad that I already only have one book left and then I have to wait till the next one comes out. So yeah, I'm a little bit sad about that, but they are so much fun to listen to, so I will do that tonight, and yeah, we'll see how the ending of the episode will go. But yeah, it's a shorter one. It's a shorter one again, so sadly it's not as much Murderbot as I would want, but it is what it is. And then I did pick up a new book, which I don't know why a friend didn't read this earlier, but I picked up If It Bleeds by Stephen King. I bought this when it came out, and then I never read it because I read the blurb. This is the book I just took the jacket off. Really loved the design of this. But as I got it, I read that one of the stories in there, you have to read another book before that. And it has to do with Holly, who is from the, I think the trilogy is called The Outsider. I read the first one of that with Billy Hodges as the main character, and I read, what is it called? Mr. Mercedes is the first one. And I didn't particularly love that book. I didn't find it to be bad, but it just wasn't for me. It's one of the few Stephen King books I didn't really love. And so I don't have any plans for the foreseeable future to finish that trilogy and read Holly, the newest book by Stephen King, which is about one of the characters in the trilogy. And because I don't have any plans to do that, I decided it is kind of moot to not read the book and wait, because I don't care that the story is based on a character I know something about, but probably not all that you're supposed to know before you read the shorter story. So yeah, I thought, fuck it, I'm just gonna read it. So I started this yesterday. I haven't come fired. I'm like 20 pages in, something like that. And I think there are 4 stories in here, so they aren't like short stories, but they aren't longer stories. So we have, yeah, Mr. Harrigan's Phone, The Life of Chuck, If It Bleeds, which is the story about Holly, and then Red, which is the last story in here. So yeah, this is what I will continue with today. I don't know if I like the first story so far, because over the last few years I realized that I really don't like children as the point of view in books. They have to be at least like teenagers. But the main character in that is 11, and I don't really enjoy the point of view, so yeah. It's not my favorite right at the moment, but also I'm just 20 pages in, so you know. But I think the story is just 70 pages long, so 80 pages. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just not that into it, but I want to read that book to have it done and yeah, get the Stephen King books that I haven't read yet down from my TBR. But yeah, that is kind of what I'm doing right now. I will have to go back to work in a minute. I have to make myself something to eat. I'm feeling actually a little bit better. I started eating gluten-free because I might have a gluten intolerance. I have to wait for the test back, but I'm already feeling better, so that might be a sign that I can't eat gluten anymore, which would suck. But we're gonna make it work somehow for the time being. I'm just like, up until the doctor's appointment in 3 weeks, I'm just eating no gluten and trying that out to have a little bit of change, which is, let me tell you, I'm in German, we eat a lot of bread here. Not eating bread is kind of weird. It just is. But yeah, that is how it's going. Tomorrow we have friends coming over, which I'm really looking forward to. So I don't know how much more I will read this week, but I hope to at least, you know, get like the first story read in this one and finish Murderbot, obviously. So yeah, that are my plans, and yeah, I will check in with you once I read more of the story, because maybe it gets better. Hopefully it gets better. Okay, let's do a quick little check-in before I go to bed, because it's bedtime. But I just finished the 6th book in the Murderbot series. I loved it. It was great. I don't really have much more to say than in the last check-in, just that I'm sad that it was over so quickly. So yeah, the next one is like, I think 7 hours, so a little bit longer. But yeah, I have to wait till I get that audiobook, and then I will be really sad that I'm finished with the series, which is sad to think about. I really, really love that series, so I do have to buy those books at some point in the future. And then I did as I promised myself. I finished the first story in this book. I was a little bit underwhelmed, to be honest. I would rate that story like 2.5, 3 stars, because it was kind of like a contemporary story. And then just at the very, very end, the idea of ghost was thrown in, which I found to be really weird. I don't know, something was off with that story. It just didn't really fit that well, in my opinion. Because it's pretty much just the child helping a rich man out, then inheriting a lot of money when the rich man dies, and he has 2 times he has trouble where he pretty much like calls the dead man's phone and the person dies afterwards. Like the person that he had trouble with, which he called about. And then just at the end, he's like, oh, maybe there could be a ghost. And that is it. So yeah, I wasn't really impressed by that story, I have to say. So yeah, we'll see how the rest will go, but I will now go to bed. I don't think I will start a new audiobook tonight, so I will have to look for one tomorrow or on Sunday. But yeah, it was really, really good evening reading, and we'll see how far I will come tomorrow morning with this one. Hopefully quite a bit, but we'll see. So yeah, I had a really good evening, and the reading is going actually really, really good. So I'm really happy with that. So it is now Saturday midday, roughly. Our friends are coming in like an hour or two. And yeah, I thought I would do a quick check-in. I'm a little bit tired today. I haven't picked a new audiobook yet because I don't know what to listen to. I'm kind of hoping I have like 3 books on my wait list, but I like quite a bit down on the wait list, so it will probably take a bit until I can get those. And yeah, I don't know what I want to listen to in the meantime, so maybe I just need to find a series to watch. I have a hard time finding series I enjoy watching, so yeah. But then I did continue this morning with If It Bleeds, and I read the second story in here, which I found to be a little bit more interesting than the first story. It also felt more like a contemporary story. It is a contemporary story, pretty much, you know. It was interesting. We're pretty much starting with the death of the main character, and then we're going backwards in his life. And the theme of the story is pretty much the world ending for some other characters, and then we have our main character who is like dying in the hospital. And I don't really want to spoil much because I found the concept of the story to be incredibly interesting. The only thing that I didn't quite enjoy, and that is pretty much in the same sense as the first story, is that at the end there were just like premonitions pretty much thrown in. Like the main character, we obviously get to know at the beginning how he dies, and then in the end he has like what would you call it? Like he sees how he dies. No, pretty much he doesn't see how he dies, but he sees himself lying in a hospital bed in a room that his grandparents pretty much were like, don't go in there. And his grandfather saw in that room how his grandmother will die, and that is why they don't want him to go in there. So I don't know why that was thrown in, because I felt like the concept of the story otherwise was so interesting that I felt that the end cheapened it a little bit. But the whole concept was really, really interesting. Let me just tell you. I mean, you have to buy this book to read it because I think it's only in here. But the story is called The Life of Chuck. That was like a really great idea, and I actually liked the length of the story. It was, I think, like 60 pages, 70 pages, so not like a short story, but not long in any sense. But I felt it was a perfect length for the topic, so that was really interesting. So yeah, now I have 2 stories left. The main story, which is If It Bleeds, and then I also have Red left. So yeah, I will probably try to read If It Bleeds tomorrow, which is 200 pages. We'll see how that will go. But that is kind of my goal, so that I have that story done. And then I only have Red left, which is then, I think, another 60, 70 pages. So hopefully I can finish it hopefully I can finish this at the beginning of the next week. And also I will still get one more book today. But I don't know. Well, you might have to wait for that for next week. It's the horror box by Lumicrate, which only contains a book and no other things. I might have to show it to you on Monday because the package will probably come when our friends are here and I don't film that, obviously. So yeah, kind of, that is, I don't like to impose on people. So yeah, I will probably show you that tomorrow. Hopefully that is an interesting book because I'm kind of in the mood for new horror books, so I would probably read that directly. That is what I've done so far with the books out of the horror box, which is kind of nice because the fantasy ones I often put on the shelves because I don't know, I like the merchandise. The books are often not quite my vibe. There were a few that I really really loved, and there were a few that I really really didn't like at all. So yeah, it's really not that often that I love the books, but the horror I felt like went a little bit better, even though I didn't love most of them. I mean, it's only been 2 so far, but they were both interesting. So yeah, that is kind of where I'm at right now. I will see you in next week's vlog because I will end this vlog now. So yeah, so that I don't forget to film an outro once our friends drive home. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this week. I feel like it was a good reading week, especially a good audiobook week, which is nice because not so long ago I really didn't like audiobooks and I still don't love them for all books. But yeah, if I have like a good go, I feel like especially sci-fi really vibes with me with audiobooks, so I'm really happy about that. So yeah, a good audiobook week and quite some nice reading. And yeah, I'm really, I don't know, I think I'm having like a better time at the moment. I'm feeling really good today, which I haven't in a long, long time, and it's really, yeah, I don't know. Hopefully the high will stay a little bit. But yeah, thank you for watching. Hopefully I will see you in next week's vlog. Bye bye!